Good morning, all of you. Today we are going to start chapter 21, correlation. Now we are going to do certain statistical problems related to correlation in this chapter. Before that, we will understand the meaning of the term correlation. Now, what do we mean by correlation? Correlation basically indicates the relationship between two or more variables of a series so that changes in the values of one variable are associated with the changes in the values of other variables. We can also define it as, in the words of Connor, if two or more quantities vary in sympathy, so that movement in one tends to be accompanied by corresponding movements in the others, then they are said to be correlated. Now, there are some particular problems that we are going to do under correlation, where the first thing that we are going to understand is that where we talk about correlation, there are certain degrees of correlation. Correlation can be positive and correlation can be negative. Now, if in case of positive correlation, the value will range between positive 0.75 and positive 1. If our answer or value of correlation is between positive 0.25 and positive 0.75, it is said to be a moderate degree of correlation. And if it is between 0 and a positive 0.25, then it is low. But if it is 0, that means there is no correlation. There is absence of correlation or there is no correlation. Then in the similar manner, we have negative values also. Negative 0.75 to negative 1 is a high correlation. Negative 0.25 to negative 0.75 is a moderate degree of correlation. Between 0 and negative 0.25 is a low degree of correlation, and 0 again means that there is no correlation between both the variables. So, when we are going to calculate the value of correlation, it will range somewhere between 0 and 1, which can either be a positive value or can be a negative value, but it cannot be more than 1. So, the very first thing that we need to understand in correlation is a scatter diagram. Now, what is a scatter diagram? Scatter diagram is a graphic expression of the degree and direction of correlation. With the help of a diagram where we try to find out the relation between two variables, that is done in scatter diagram. That is, in this method, the data is plotted on a graph paper in the form of dots, and each dot shows a particular pair of values of two variables, say x and y. And to draw a scatter diagram, we take two axis coordinate, x and y, x-axis and y-axis, plotting the values of one variable, that is generally the independent variable on the horizontal axis, that is the x-axis, and the values of the other variable, that is the dependent variable on the vertical axis or y-axis. So, a particular pair of values of two variables, x and y, is shown by a dot. So, we can show various degrees of correlation between two variables with the use of scatter diagram as illustrated below. First of all, there is a perfectly positive correlation. Now, when we plot the values of both the variables on a graph paper, and when we plot it, we are basically using dots to plot the value. And this is the type of line that is formed on the graph paper with the help of dots. That is, it lies on a straight line rising from lower left hand corner to the upper right hand corner. Such kind of diagram is representing a perfectly positive correlation, that is, value will be equal to a positive 1. Perfectly positive correlation. Now, when we plot the variables on a graph paper, and the diagram that we are getting is in this manner, that is, it is showing us a downward trend from the upper left hand corner to the lower right hand corner. Correlation will be a perfectly negative correlation or -1. Now, if we have the diagram in this form, that is, then the dots that are plotted shows an upward direction from the lower left hand corner to the upper right hand corner in a wavy way, not a straight line, but in a wavy way it is going upwards correlation is positive. This is said to be a positive correlation as both of them are moving in the same direction. Fourthly, we have negative correlation where it is depicted by a downward trend from the upper left hand corner to the lower right hand corner. So this kind of a diagram shows us negative correlation between two values. And if this is the kind of scatter diagram that we are getting, if various points on the scatter diagram do not show any particular trend but are distributed in a random or a haphazard manner, there is no correlation at all. The value will be equal to 0. So based upon this, now we are going to see an example how to draw a scatter diagram. The following table shows in inches the respective heights of 8 fathers and their eldest son. So 8 fathers and height of eldest sons are given over here. This we are going to plot on the graph paper. Here we have plotted it. The height of the sons we have taken on the OY axis and height of fathers we have taken on the OX axis. This is a false baseline that we have taken over here. We take a false baseline generally when we are starting from a high value. We are not starting from 1 over here, but we are starting from 65. So we are taking a false baseline over here. So in this case, the scatter diagram is obtaining by plotting the values, that is the height of father and the height of son on this graph paper, where if we see the first one, the first value, height of father in this case is 65 and that of son is 67. Then height of father is 63 and that of son is 66. So first case, it was height of father is 65. For height of father we have taken over here. So this is 65 and height of son is 67. So a dot over here. Then the second one was height of father is 63 and that of son is 66. So 66 and 63, a dot over here. Then the next one is 67 is the height of father and 68 is the height of son. So 67 is the height of father and 68 is the height of son. So this is how it goes. We have a dot over here. Then in the same manner, height of father is 64 and that of son is 66. So 64 and 65, sorry, 65. So we put a dot over here. Then the next one is height of father is 68 and that of son is 69. So from here and from here we put a dot over here. So in this manner we are putting these dots, and what kind of a scatter diagram are we getting? This is showing us normally an upward trend of dots from lower left hand corner to the upper right hand corner. So when we have this kind of an upper trend being shown by the dots that we plot on the graph paper, this scatter diagram basically shows us a positive correlation between the heights of fathers and sons, as there is an upward trend. So this is how we make a scatter diagram. And now children, the next thing that we are going to do is the Karl Pearson's coefficient of correlation. Now when we talk about Karl Pearson's coefficient of correlation, the first thing over here is the direct method of calculating correlation. In the direct method of calculating correlation, the formula for correlation, which is represented by small r, is equals to summation xy upon n standard deviation x into standard deviation y. Now this is the sign for standard deviation. Standard deviation, children, you've not done as such because that was not in your new revised syllabus, but for understanding this thing we are going to do it over here. Now the above formula for computing Karl Pearson's coefficient of correlation can be modified in this manner. It can be written as correlation, or R is equals to summation xy whole upon summation x square into summation y square and the under root of this thing. So let's take an example to understand how to calculate Karl Pearson's coefficient of correlation with the help of these formulas that we have seen over here. Now this is a question that is given to us over here in example 2, which says calculate Karl Pearson's correlation coefficient between x and y from the data given below. So we have the values of the X series and the values of the Y series. So for calculating correlation with the direct method, this is the formula that we are using. And with this formula, now what do we need to do? We first of all are going to write down the values of the X series and that of the Y series. And what we have to find out now? We have to find out the square of deviation. So for finding out the square of deviation, we will first of all find out the deviation in both the series. Here also we are squaring the deviation of X. Here also we are squaring the deviation of Y. But we have to find out the deviation first. So we are taking the deviation from actual mean. Now when we are taking deviation from actual mean, we will find out the value of actual mean or X bar. So just a revision for you, it will be X bar. If you remember, the formula is summation X by N under direct method. So we are going to total the values of the X series first of all, which gives us a total 70. That is summation X upon N. Now N is the number of values, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that will be 70 upon 7. X bar we get is equals to 10. In the same manner, we will find out Y bar. We are going to total the values of the Y series. We get summation Y is equals to 63. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is the N. So Y bar is equals to summation Y. Now this is a wrong sign that they have shown over here. This should not be delta Y, but this should be summation Y. Summation Y upon N, which is 63 upon 7 is equals to 9. So this is X bar, that is mean of the X series, and this is Y bar, that is mean of Y series. Now with the help of these, we are going to find out the deviation. So deviation formula will be over here in direct method. It is X minus X bar. So X bar we know for the first series is 10. So 12, X is 12 over here. So 12 minus 10, 2. Now the X is 9. So the value of X is changing. 9 minus 10 is equals to minus 1. 8 minus 10 is equals to minus 2. 10 minus 10 is 0. 11 minus 10 is 1. 13 minus 10 is 3. And 7 minus 10 is minus 3. Now we are going to square these deviations. Square of 2 is 4. Minus 1 will be positive 1. Minus 2 will be a positive 4. 0, 0. Positive 1 square is 1. 3 square is 9. Minus 3 square is also 9. Now we are going to do the same calculation over here. We will find out deviation from mean for Y series. So that will be Y minus Y bar. Value of Y bar is 9. So 14 minus 9, 5, then 8 minus 9, minus 1, 6 minus 9, minus 3, 9 minus 9, 0, 11 minus 9, 2, 12 minus 9, 3, and 3 minus 9 is equals to minus 6. Again, we are going to square these deviations. 5 square is 25, minus 1 square is 1, minus 3 square is 9, 0 square is 0, 2 square is positive 4, 3 square is 9, and minus 6 square is 36. Now the next step that we have to do is we have to take out the product of deviations X and Y. So this is our deviation X and this is our deviation Y. So this will be 2 into 5, 10, minus 1 into minus 1 will be a positive 1, minus 2 into minus 3 will be a positive 6, then 0 into 0 will be 0, then 1 into 2 will be 2, 3 into 3 is 9, and minus 3 into minus 6 is a positive 18. Then we add up the column product of deviations. So the summation of xy that we get is 46. We add up all these columns also. The sum of deviation square, which is 84. In the same manner, deviation square of x is 28. And now we are going to apply these values in the formula. So the formula is summation xy upon summation x square into summation y square and under root of the whole thing. So summation xy value we got 46 over here. So this value we will put over here. Summation x square is 28 and summation y square is 84. So 46 upon 28 into 84 and 28 into 84 into under root gives us 46 upon 48.5, which is equals to a positive 9.48. So that is a high degree of positive correlation. So that is how you have to find out these values with direct method. Now we have One more example over here, example number 3. From the following data, compute the coefficient of correlation between x and y, where x series the values are directly given to us. N is equals to 15, x bar is also given 25 and x square is also given. Then y series, n is equals to 15, y bar is equals to 18, y square is 138. Even the value of summation xy is given to at 122. So we'll directly apply the values in the formula. So this is our formula. So summation xy is 122. That summation x square is 136, summation y square is 138 under root. So 128 upon under root 18768. When we solve this, the value that we get is a positive 0.89. Positive 0.89 also lies in our first range of values. So that is a positive degree of high correlation. Now next thing, we come to the shortcut method of calculating correlation. Before this we have done the direct method. Now this is the formula for shortcut method for calculating correlation. R is equals to summation dx dy minus summation dx into summation dy whole upon n, whole thing upon under root summation d square x minus summation dx square by n into under root summation d square y minus summation dy square by n. So this is our formula for calculating correlation according to shortcut method. So the values that we need over here is summation dx, summation dy, that is the product of deviation, summation dx into dy, and the square of the deviation. So we will find out deviations, we will find out their product, we will find out the square of deviations. Now this is an example for doing that. We have example number 4, which says calculate the coefficient of correlation between price and quantity demanded from the following data. Now we are going to write down the values as x series and y series like this, as we had done in the question before this. Then we are going to find out deviations and square of deviations. Now what is the difference between shortcut and direct method? Mainly is that in direct method we were taking deviation from actual mean and we were finding actual mean. But here we are taking deviation from assumed mean. So we can pick up any value from this series. Generally we take a value from the center and we take that as assumed mean. So we are taking say 18 over here as assumed mean. And in y series we are taking 6 as assumed mean. So what we will do is now we will do a minus x. What is a? A is assumed mean, which is 18 in this case. So it will be what is it will be x minus a. So x is these are our x values and a is our assumed mean, which is 18 over here. So x minus a is 20 minus 18 positive 2, 19 minus 18 positive 1, 18 minus 18 0, 17 minus 1. 17 minus 18 minus 1, 16 minus 18 minus 2, and 15 minus 18 minus 3. Then we are going to do the square of these deviations. Square of 2 is 4, that of 1 is 1, 0, 0, minus 1 will be positive 1, minus 2 will be positive 4, and square of minus 3 will be positive 9. In the same manner, we find out deviations for y series and the square of those deviations. So we have taken assumed mean as to be 6, so it will be y minus assumed mean. 2 minus 6 is minus 4, 3 minus 6 is minus 3, 4 minus 6 is minus 2, 6 minus 6 is 0, 7 minus 6 is 1, and 8 minus 6 is a positive 2. Now square of deviations, that of 4 is 4 into negative 4 into negative 4 gives us a positive 16. Negative 3 gives us a square, gives us positive 9, minus 2 square is positive 4, 0 square is 0, 1 square is 1, 2 square is positive 4. Now we will find out the product or multiple of deviation. So that is this value, this column, dx into this column dy. So positive 2 into a negative 4 gives us minus 8. Then positive 1 into minus 3 gives us minus 3. 0 into anything that is there, minus 2 gives us 0 only. Minus 1 into 0 will again give us 0. Minus 2 into 1 gives us minus 2. Minus 3 into 2 gives us a minus 6. Now we are going to total these columns. First one we get n. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In both the cases, x series and y series, n is equals to 6. You can count it over here also. Now there we have the deviation from assumed mean. The total of this column is coming to be a -3, and that of d square x is 19. Then summation dy, the total is coming to be a -6, and that of d square y is 34, and product of this deviations, the total is coming to be -19. Now we're going to apply all these values in the formula over here. So applying the values in the formula, first of all, summation dx dy was a -19 minus summation dx, that is a -3, into summation dy, that is a -6, whole upon 6, that is the value of n, whole upon under root summation d square x was 19 minus summation dx, the same value, this one, summation dx is -3, but here we are doing it a square, -3 square upon 6 into under root summation d square y, which is 34, minus summation dy square, this value only, okay, that is a -6, but square over here, whole upon 6, that is our n, under root. Now when we solve this, after solving this, this is what we are getting over here. The answer is a -0.99. So there is negative correlation of high degree between both these variables. Now children, this is our Karl-Pearson's coefficient of correlation that we have done, direct method and shortcut method both. So based on this, you have to do your homework. Scatter diagram also we have done. So you have to do question number 2 and 3 of your book, scatter diagram. Then Karl-Pearson's coefficient of correlation, you have to do as many as are given over there in the book for practice, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. All these questions you have to do, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 13. So all these you have to do for your homework. Thank you.